Hello and welcome to the Tristan channel, and you'll be surprised I'll be recording two videos tonight, but first it'll be this one, and that is, as I did before with the teaser for Superman, I'm going to be reacting to the latest trailer of the new film Superman. Now, I can't remember what I said back then, but to be fair, I've gone nothing against Gunn or anything like that. It's more a case of Warner Brothers. I don't really trust them when it comes to actors and that. It's people seem to blame directors and bad writing and stuff like that. No, it was Warner Brothers that did Henry Cavill the dirty. You know what I mean? So it's like one of the things I did say was I got nothing against the new Superman. It's just that, for example, if I was to be cast as the new Superman, I would put a clad contract there, considering what's happened to like Cavill in the past, right? I would actually have it so that if you do, because they promised him at the time 3 films. We know that because there was going to be a Man of Steel 2. They didn't let the guy make Man of Steel 2, so he went FU and made Brightburn, I think it was, which I think Gunn was involved in. Interesting enough, I think, something like that. And so he went, "Fuck you, then. I'm gonna make it." It's like, you won't stop me making a Superman film. So, because he wanted to make one, so he goes, "Okay, I'm going to make my own one. And I'm going to call it Brightburn." But you know what I mean? But make it dark. And like, what happens if Superman grew up to be evil, kind of? So you know what I mean? I'd have it, but he was basically apart from because things like Batman v Superman and stuff like that don't count. They're like, you know, like with the Marvel films, you have got crossover films, like, and then you have got the big battle films, like, so in the case of DC, it would be Justice League. So he was going to have at least three films, and yeah, and it didn't happen. So, but to be fair, I'm going to give it a chance. You know what I mean? I'm not going to. I think what does irritate me in it, and because I do seem a bit of a jerk around it, or a bit aggressive about it, it's not that. It's just I hate the fact that people are pooing on Zack Snyder, which is not his fault because he also had some outside issues as well involved, because he's only human. You know, I mean, that affected stuff, and hence why they got Josh Whedon. That's why is it Josh Whedon or whatever his name is, released his Justice League, which was shit. I mean, people complain that Zack Snyder one was 3 hours long. It was fucking epic, man. There's scenes in that which are 10 times more epic than the theatrical release. So yeah, but what gets me is I hate the fact that they're chewing it off before they've seen it, hyping it up, and I'm still not impressed by the costumes. But I suppose it depends the context of where he's coming from. If it, there is also the argument that people, I mean, Man of Steel I think Man of Steel tries its best to be more real world, if that makes sense, in its style. I wouldn't say it's dark. I mean, the fact that people complained that he trashed Metropolis. Christopher Reeve's Superman trashed Metropolis as well. You've got 2 godlike beings fighting in a city. There's going to be collateral damage. It's stupid to bitch and moan about it. I mean, some of the points people point out are just stupid. So the thing is, Gunn is a big fan of Christopher Reeves, so he's trying to make it comic book accurate, which is fair enough. And the fact he kind of get my trust a bit, because if he likes Christopher Reeves, you may get even certain, don't get wrong, certain Snyder fans which are toxic. They think Cavill's the dog's bollocks. I love Henry Cavill, but for me it'd be always Christopher Reeve. And people go, "Oh yeah, it's dated, cheesy, whatever." They say that until they go watch it. I've seen reaction channels. They love and adore Henry Cavill, but when they react to Christopher Reeves, they're like, "Oh my god, that's my Superman." If it wasn't for Christopher Reeves, we probably wouldn't have Superman films. You know what I mean? To be fair, it's like he's famous for actually, before we had CGI and all that stuff, he was his the catchphrase they give him, or the thing he's contributed to, he made people believe a man could fly. You know what I mean? And a lot of comic books based Superman's face off him. I've got loads of annuals somewhere in the attic, or it might be a few downstairs, where the actual comic book character Superman was forever. They'd rather go back to how they modelled in the 50s. They modelled him after Christopher Reeve. It's fucking epic. So anyway, so I'm going to give it a chance. So with that, let's look at the new trailer and see what it has in store. All I say is, never mind, I could probably get a copyright. Hopefully it won't be one of those red flag ones, so it'll be an acceptable one. You know? Let's go.
Superman. The most powerful being.
Sorry, you know what I also do like is they're using the old Superman, like dun 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 dun, boom boom boom.
On planet Earth. We finally meet. Now, as planned, I'll destroy you. And of course, that reporter you always do interviews with. Who raised you as a child? I'll kill them too.
Ooh, he's not a nice guy. And I like the fact they got the old the fortress back, you know, in the crystals, and I like the added of security where it comes out of the ground, and yeah, thing as well, you got a fucking kaiju. You telling me there's no buildings going to be destroyed, plus the fight he's going to have in it? Come on, people. I bet people will ignore the fact that he smashes up the place.
What you do to me, Luther? Your
Oh
plans
look!
won't work.
Oh look! The city's getting trashed. Sorry.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
Make a move, Big Blue. They chose him. Let them die.
See, that's not a bad touch, because he's always been envious of Superman, and it's interesting because this is not him at his at his start. This is him at his X amount of years after he joined the Daily Planet, and it's kind of like it's interesting to see how much, you know, Lex Luthor would snap because of the jealousy in that.
Hey! Quit messing around!
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Incidentally, as well, people saying the other Superman's a bit darker than that. There's lots of bits in this that I'm pretty sure are not that far from Henry Cavill Superman. It's like, because I first thought that was Ultraman, because people were complaining that when he punched that guy, because I first thought it was Ultraman, and people were being falling off that, but no, I just noticed it's all Luthor's guards. It's like he just threw all his men in the air and then vaporized them with his heat vision. Yeah, that's like not hanging, but it's like he ain't holding back there, ladies and gentlemen. But did you not know? Thing is, one of the complaints was in well, the Man of Steel, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. So that's me doing, was it the toxic DC fans? As they complain that he trashed the building. I'm pretty sure in this trailer we see him. You're going to have collateral damage. There's two godlike beings fighting in the frigging city. Christopher Reeve Superman. The place was trashed. Again, it's just stupid toxic fandom, isn't it? Oh, Superman never kills. He did in Superman 2. It was actually a deleted scene that showed Zod being alive. But they went, nah, we'll leave that out. They had their powers taken away, and they were thrown into the bottomless pit of the fortress. I mean, consider it's the Antarctic, they probably fell down there, drowned, and froze to death because they have no powers. So it's like Superman, you know, when it's necessary. And also, there's so many depths. Like, it just goes to show how illiterate people are, though, with that scene. It's like he didn't want to kill Zod, and people don't analyse that moment. It's kind of like, And the thing is, if you're Superman starting off as well, he or Superman starting off, you have to go through learning curves. It's like, what drove him to be better? To not kill. It's like, Batman used to kill. People go, he has this no-kill rule. Michael Keaton's Batman set people on fire and blew them up. Batman in original comics used to have guns before political correctness came in. It's all these arguments, these criticisms are nonsense. See, look, I pause it. Oh, look, building falls onto building. But because it's not Henry Cavill's Superman, no one will probably complain.
Superman.
Oh, look.
The most powerful being on planet Earth.
Burr, 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 burr.
We finally meet.
Now, as planned, I'll destroy you. And of course, that reporter you always do interviews with. Who raised you as a child? I'll kill them too.
Ew. Oh, yeah, and the other thing is, in defence of this film, don't get me wrong, and the thing is, they're not even Snyder fans, but they are just general DC fans. People are complaining that he's bruised. Yes, the sun heals. If you see the clip here, what happens is they put him on a bed, and it's like a magnifying glass, and it fires intense beams, and people go, "Oh, but Superman doesn't feel pain." What are you smoking, people? Right. In defence of this film, or any... Superman bled when fighting Doomsday. Hello? He got killed by Doomsday, which means he can be killed. As Arnold Schwarzenegger said with the Predator, if something can bleed, you can kill it. So, the thing is, no one says that about Cavill Superman or Tom Welling, so come on, let's be fair. So I'm going to give us a fair chance, that's why, because both sides, in a way, all these people are just stupid. I don't like the costumes and I don't like the Green Lantern's haircut. There's certain bits I don't like, but I'm still going to give it a chance, because if he's going for an approach, this is a comic book film, stop taking it seriously, that's okay, that's great. Well, it's got a fucking dog in it, dog with a cape. So yeah, it's comic book, so I can let that slip. It's just the hype I hate, because people are hyping up, it's like, I don't trust Warner Brothers. There's been bits cut out of it and reshot because Warner Brothers weren't happy. That's not a good sign, ladies and gentlemen. Gunn doesn't even know what he's doing. He shows us this flow chart of what he wants to do. He still has no idea what he wants to do with it. Absolutely, he makes out he's got it planned. No, he fucking doesn't. But I've got nothing against Gunn, okay? And what the thing that makes me laugh, he actually said he wants to bring Grant Gustin in possibly into his future projects. Maybe it's the Flash. It'd be bloody good if it does. He wouldn't need training or whatever. Just say, look, just play the Flash. We'll put on camera. Obviously, you need a script to go to the story, but you know what I mean. But they're going to use Henry Cavill at some point in the future, apparently. Although I probably wouldn't. I could see, if I was Cavill because of Warner Brothers. Depends. I mean, he is quite noble about it. He didn't turn the other cheek with it. So, but he's also, oddly enough, despite there's this Snyder versus Gunn fan thing going on, he's got Snyder working in some of his projects. So Gunn is not anti-Snyder. He's bringing him in to do some of his films. I bet people pick them out. Out of the entire Gunverse, all of Zack's films were shit. Like, shut up. But here's the thing, right? So people are complaining that he's been bruised and he's feeling pain and things like that, right? I presume this is the fight after Ultraman, right? He's fighting Ultraman, for those who don't know. I'm not sure that, although to be fair, come on. The only thing the thing that I would say, as I would accept as a criticism, is the fact that Ultraman in this looks like fucking hell, is it Black Nero? Whatever his name is, from the boys, yeah, where you have like a clone of Homelander. Well, they changed it in a series, that pissed me off. It's supposed to be a clone of Homelander, because the Homeland with the boys originally in a story, it was quite clever. The Homelander who we think's bad is basically like Superman. But the one who does all the horrible killings and rescues in terms of zapping people, that's Black Noir. That's it. That's Black Noir outside his mask. And they try and convince him to keep control over him, and that it's him that's doing the killings to send him over the edge. And then at some point in the story, it turns out, I mean, it won't in the series, unfortunately, it turns out that he's a clone of, I wonder how they'll do it differently in the series, but it turns out he's a clone of Homelander, and it's him that's doing all the bad shit. I think he does win in the fight against Homelander. So the thing is, with Ultraman, if I remember correctly, he might be in this film, in Gunsverse, maybe this universe's version of Bizarro, but Ultraman essentially was meant to be Superman from a parallel Earth or something. But he has essentially got the same powers as Superman. So you've got two kind of Kryptonians going smacking at each other. Anyone with the same powerhouse level as Superman can hurt Superman. So he will bruise. He's not a god, he's just invulnerable to most things in the universe. As long as he's absorbing the powers, the energy from a yellow star. So he can still get hurt. Yeah? And bear in mind, bless him, didn't help him as well, he has multiple fractures, internal bleeding, perforated lung. If you have any of these conditions, go and ask a doctor to treat you without anaesthetic and see how much you scream. Because of also his powers and abilities, they can't, I mean, well, I suppose you could actually argue with Kryptonian technology, there might be a way to still, because surely Kryptonian technology will still hurt him, but why would you need to? Because if your body has cells do it anyway. But bearing in mind, like they said in the clip, we can't give you anaesthetic and all this sort of shit because of your abilities. So everything from every sort of internal damage, you name it, and bone is being reset. That's gonna hurt like fuck. Excuse my language. Yeah, that's gonna hurt like mad. So him and people go, oh, the sun hurts Superman. No, it's not the sun that's hurting him. It's the fact that everything in his body suddenly, it's instead of going by Doomsday, when he died and they put him in the solar bed, it did it over a long period of time. This is crank it up to maximum power, yeah, maximum power, and zapped him with like extreme power. So everything goes really fast. Everything sets like in his body. It's like fuck, that's gonna hurt. I mean, because just imagine dislocated shoulder, and you're gonna go like, it's a sharp move. It's imagine that happening 100 times over. We don't have any injury. Count all the injuries he's got. Imagine sharp and horrible pain that many times, all happening at once. That's why he's screaming, because the sunlight's hitting him. It's not the sun that's hurting him. It's the fact he's healing at a stupidly fast rate, and it fucking hurts. So but they're saying, oh, he's getting bruised. Superman didn't get bruised. Whatever. You know what I mean? So and the thing is, Henry Cavill did get bruised. Okay, if you want me to get picky, and I'm going to play fair, to show you that I'm going to play fair, Henry Cavill's Superman took a full brunt of a nuclear bomb, and you can see his face like, it for a very split few seconds killed him. It's like, ugh. Yeah, and he floated to space, see bits of skin coming off. Christopher Reeve's Superman took an explosion, like I think there's a tactical nuke and Superman 3, whatever. The point is, he could take that sort of explosion in the face and not be scratched. So screw you, man. You know what I mean? But I don't give a monkeys. It's a film. Stop taking it serious. You know what I mean? But if you want to get nitpicky, I can get nitpicky, and I'll make it fair. So yeah, it's like he's been basically fighting with someone with similar powers to him. He's gonna get bruised, or God knows how. He could be fighting Brainiac. We don't know who the big bad is yet. They're not revealing that yet. Sorry. See, I can be fair in the DC universe. Oh, that's good. Look. Maximum bang. Kaiju.
No matter what you do to me, Luther, your plans won't work.
Oh look, more buildings get destroyed.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
Oh, wait a second, ladies and gentlemen. If you are able to slow that down, when you go watch the trailer in its raw form, that's what she said. There's a massive, great big gash in the ground. Oh, but it's not a Snyder film, so I won't criticise it. Shut up, you tart. There's a massive, great big hole for her. Look.
Make a move, Big Blue.
Look. That's more damage than Cavill Superman. I'm not saying Superman did it, but it's the collateral damage. It's not necessarily these people. It's the collateral damage from the fights. That's going to happen with godlike beings fighting. Oh.
They chose him. Let them die.
Ew. They have social media in that universe. If you're listening from Earth 9, whatever it is, just make sure you follow and like Lex Luthor's page, because otherwise he might let you die.
Quit messing around.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't like the suit. It's not the design. It just looks like... It still looks like... I mean, oh. I know you want to make it comic book accurate, ladies and gentlemen. But if you want to make it comic book accurate, why don't have that design but make the material thinner? Because Cavill's was futuristic, but it's still thinner. I mean, some say he's had a muscle suit. That depends on what shots he filmed, because to be fair, he didn't need much muscle suit. He got jacked for that film, you know what I mean? But yeah, they could have... Because the thing is... put Zack Snyder and James Gunn aside. The CW programme has... I mean, the Hawk Girl one there, some of the uniforms look like they've been taken from CW. But CW has done better superhero outfits when it comes to DC. So it's like, why don't go for Finn? Have that logo, take some elements from, I know, Cavill's suit, still keep the trunks. So mix it up with Cavill's suit, maybe, in terms if you want to modernise it. Like, because the texture is fair, even though it's his own thing. That grid texture on his suit, that's like from Man of Steel. And there are some elements in this film that's like looks like he's been inspired from Man of Steel as well, which is no problem. You know, where it's got his Superman taken away by Gunn's Superman. David's Superman's been taken away in handcuffs by soldiers. The scene looks exactly like Man of Steel, but so make it. I would have made it thinner, and like more like brand like in Superman Returns, perhaps do it that way. But obviously to modernize, adjust it so it looks more modern idea. You know, different. But that looks too jumpsuit onesie. It just doesn't look right. You know, you try to be comic book accurate, but if you look at a comic book of the Superman, even like the New Age 52, it still is quite skin tight. You know what I mean? So anyway, but yeah, I'm going to give it a chance. You know what I mean? And I do think the criticisms of all the Superman films are just stupid. And as you see, like I said. They probably won't mention it, will they? There is going to be some digs later just to get one back on people, but it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Their criticisms of Snyder is that, oh, but Superman would never destroy a whole building. What is it you've been smoking? It's just even. I know they it's a comic book, so it defies the laws of physics, but the point is, there is no known multiverse where you're going to have a fictional story where that sort of physics is not going to apply. You're not going to have a fight that's going to have no damage in the city. You know what I mean? And ironically, if you actually... I know it sounds... I don't want to go too deep into it because it's silly, but technically speaking, the actual counterforce, if both people didn't want to... You know, villains, though, they don't give a shit about the buildings anyway, so it's not going to work on that aspect. But let's just say two people were fighting two super powered people were fighting, and they were trying their best not to hurt civilians in this fight. The two actual forces come together when they're holding back from getting smacked in the building whilst taking the punch. The forces will go in the opposite direction, and you'll basically affect. It will create a sonic, like a sound wave, like a boom, like a sonic boom, like boom, like that, like a Matrix, like boom, and that boom will take out the wind. You'll still have damage. It's stupid. So yeah, David Superman causes collateral damage just like Henry Cavill's. So shut up to all you whiners about that. Okay. I still feel, but the thing I don't like is I think they did Cavill the dirty. Personally, I think that would have been absolutely, well, not hilarious. That would have been epic. If there was a twist like Henry Cavill would be Ultraman or something, you know what I mean? But then again, he might come back for a Crisis of Infinite Earths when James Gunn does his own version of that. But anyway, so, and we also know that was it Momoa will be doing Lobo or something. So, but anyway, so yeah, forgot I was going to go with that. But yeah, it's just like, yeah. So my problem is it's just the way they done Cavill dirty, and people blame The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Snyder. No. In Cavill's own statement, even though he was decent about it, pretty much said it was Warner Brothers. And I don't know why people hate on The Rock for Black Adam. He listened to the fans. They wanted Cavill back. I mean, he could have brought him in a bit sooner. You know what I mean? Like maybe have Cavill Superman break him out. Like have Dr. Fate going, Kal-El. You know what I mean? I mean, the thing is, I know it's Black Adam's show, but you know what I mean? Have him a bit more at the end rather than we need to talk. But then again, they were hoping for a second, and it was just like, So, but that wasn't The Rock's fault. Shut up. That wasn't Zack Snyder's fault. That was Warner Brothers. So, but yeah, so I'm going to give it a chance, okay? And people are saying that people don't like the team, the double. There's a clip where you got the double team and the dog and Superman, which you kind of see a bit in that fight, where he goes boof like that because it dripped. There's so many criticism of it, but it's kind of like, come on. I mean, if you want to get... The thing is, there are videos out there that actually explain the physics of Superman through a scientific lens, and it's like, if you really want to get nitpicky, you would need to write a book that big, you know, this big, because the actual amount of energy, for example, Superman has to control the amount of force and strength. He has to put so much restraint and energy into not crushing someone into dust because of amount of pressure actually will reduce something to dust or something like that. I can't remember the exact description, but he has to do so much not to crush you when hugging, which you think is an amazing achievement, which you should rightfully agree with. It is an amazing achievement for him to pull off, because believe it or not, just to not break a fucking doorknob, the amount of... Well, actually, no, I think the smaller the object, the more delicate the object, it's more difficult, but the amount of concentration he has to put in, or would have had to put in, not to rip, just go... You know what I mean? I think they did it in The Boys, where it's like, the reason why a lot of superpowered characters in a lot of films just kick down doors, because if they try to even just turn the handle, it'll come off. You notice it in Smallville, when he's just getting used to his new strength, he goes to open the door and it's like, clink! Oh shit, and that's just the front door. You know what I mean? So he has to put so much effort. So if you want to get picky, technically speaking, just by shaking your hand, even gently would crush your hand. So come on, folks. So I'm going to give it a chance. Yeah. Let me know in the comments what you think about the film, and are you going to be fair with it? Again, I don't have a problem with the actors. I don't have a problem with the director. I just don't trust Warner Brothers. Like I said, there's so many bits they had to reshoot and put back in or recut or whatever because Warner Brothers wasn't happy with it. That's not necessarily Gunn's fault, bearing in mind. So don't use that as a dig against Gunn. That is something that should worry you. because if they start pissing about with it, it's that thing with Star Wars. You can have some really good writers with Star Wars, but it would be Kathleen Kennedy or some other twat in fucking Disney that screws with it and messes it up. Anyway, so anyway, let me know what you think. Are you looking forward to this film? Like I said, I'll give it a chance. I think the other thing as well, I think personally the way I would have done it was finish Zack Snyder's Justice League, because they rushed it quite a bit, I think, because they were too busy getting Flashpoint out. Because Dawn, I thought would have been a bloody good idea, and it kind of, it wasn't it was a rumor, but it wasn't definite. And to be fair, come on, you got to sort of agree with me to forget whether they're good or not directors, just the concept, right? It would have been, because it's like it's like Alien Covenant and things like that. He's not making a trilogy. Regardless if this film's good or not, it kind of annoys you, doesn't it, when they don't finish it off. If you're going to start a story, for God's sake, finish it. Otherwise, it's annoying. Doesn't matter if it's good or not, that part of our human nature wants to know what fucking happens. You know what I mean? But what they were going to do was they were going to do the trilogy, like Infinity Wars, like Justice League Part 1, 2 and 3. And they were going to have, say like in the cartoon, you have Flash go back in time and do Flashpoint. That then creates but then he goes to restore it, but there's a slight thing wrong, and then Constantine's system, you know what you have to do, lad, and he goes back in time. But here with this, right, and also think how messed up it would be. You could do it in a way so it's messed up, because there's a few bits in there that sort of suggest that, because think about time travel, it's like Bruce Wayne said, it fulcrums off. Despite sending the Flash back in time, somewhere out in the multiverse is Ben Affleck's Batman trapped in that nightmare world where Darkseid took over. That's fucked up, isn't it? That's quite, ooh. You know what I mean? But you could have it. So when they do the reboot, you have the trilogy, right? Because they did the closure of Aquaman, yeah? That's all right, you did the closure. That's Atlantis being introduced to the world. But what you could do then, so what they were going to do anyway, but no, so that's done, dusted. So you have the trilogy, right? And what they apparently were going to do, which I would have suggested anyway, is actually have Flashpoint at the end. Because, you know, they did that joke where it's like, everything seems to be back to normal. You got Arthur Curry, but then a different Bruce Wayne comes out. So imagine if he fixed things, and basically in that apparent future, I suppose we could say, the Darkseid thing never happens. However, there's always going to be ripples like Bruce Wayne trying to explain to him in Flashpoint film, and it's like, so you got a different Batman, whoever they would choose, have him there as the Bruce. You know, just it's like, oh, who the fuck's that? And then they'd be like, was it Superman and friends or whatever will return in the Gunverse or whatever, yeah? They're like, whoa, man! See how good that would have been? But Bruce? You know what I mean? Oh, and have Superman, you know what I mean? Superman, like, different Supermans, like, what? And then Bruce Wayne goes, hey, Barry, you know, best luck. You know, they all come around and he's like, and then you could even throw it to nick a line from CW, because Bruce Wayne's quite intelligent, you know what I mean? So he could go, Barry, what have you done? You know what I mean? And then when Gunn starts this thing, it could be a few years later, whatever. Or even if they were going to recast the Flash, have them go, hi guys, but then also say, oh, what else is different? And he looks looks into the mirror, and goes, whoa, you know what I mean? Something like that, anyway. And I think just to round it off nicely, give everyone a decent send off, and then bring in Gunn's universe. But anyway, I've run it off enough. So yeah, are you looking forward to this film? What do you reckon? And all that jazz. Let me know in the comments below. But anyway, I'm gonna give it a fair chance. It may surprise me. And like I said, if he's a fan of Christopher Reeves and he's trying to have that feel, then it may work. I might like it because I love Christopher Reeves. So anyway, take care, and I shall see you soon. Yeah, I shall see you next video.